The New York Rangers are facing off against the Pittsburgh Penguins in round number 1 of the 2022 Stanley Cup Playoffs. This is one of my favorite matchups of the first round. Can't wait for it to get started, and I've got a full series preview coming your way. Let's get started. Hey everybody, it is time now to talk about the 2-3 matchup in the Metropolitan Division between the New York Rangers and Pittsburgh Penguins. This is one of my favorite matchups of the first round, a series that I was really hoping we were going to get, and I'm very happy that we are getting it this year in the playoffs. You have one of the best young up-and-coming teams in the league in the New York Rangers, against a veteran team with the window closing and some big questions heading into the offseason in the Pittsburgh Penguins. Is this their last shot to really make a run? It's going to be a lot of fun. This should be a great series, and I can't wait to see the puck get dropped. There's so much going on here. Obviously, the inexperience of the New York Rangers will have an impact on this series. There's a lot of guys without any real significant playoff experience on that team who play prominent roles. And then for Pittsburgh, similar to Carolina, you've got a major goaltending question with Tristan Jarry, who's been injured. Sounds like he's going to miss at least the start of the playoffs, or is very likely to, which puts a lot of pressure on Casey DeSmith. And this is just going to be such a fun series to see how it goes. So let's get into the preview here. Starting with the New York Rangers, who went 52-24-6 on the season, 110 points. They finished second place in the Metropolitan Division. The Rangers had an excellent season this year. I thought they'd be a playoff team. I did not think they were going to be this good. They had a phenomenal season. And they played well against Pittsburgh. They lost the first game that they played against the Penguins, but then won the next 3. Ended up going 3-1-0 against the Penguins in the regular season this year. And they were some very feisty, hard-fought games. And there's certainly no shortage of animosity between these two teams heading into this series, which just makes it even better. They were certainly at each other's throats a little bit, especially in those last couple of regular season matchups. The New York Rangers scored 3.05 goals per game this season, which was 16th best in the NHL. So very, middle of the pack offensively for the New York Rangers, but where they really shine is keeping the puck out of their net. Second best defensive team in the NHL this season, giving up just 2.49 goals against per game. Igor Shesterkin, their starting goaltender, finished the season with a .935 save percentage. Very likely going to win the Vezina Trophy. And in the conversation for MVP as well this season, Shesterkin has been out of his mind. If he plays that way in the playoffs, the Rangers are going to be very, very tough to beat. They're also very good on special teams. 25.2% on the power play, which was 4th best in the NHL. Their power play obviously led by Chris Kreider, their 50-goal scorer, who scored a bunch of power play goals this year like he usually does, but even more this season than a normal season for Chris Kreider. He had an unreal year offensively, putting the puck in the net, and a lot of that was due to their power play and his power play scoring. They're also really good on the penalty kill, 7th best in the league at 82.3% on the PK. And obviously, when you have a Vezina-level goaltender like Igor Shesterkin, that certainly helps the kill as well. But overall, this is a team that is very, very good on special teams. They're good offensively, but they really shine defensively in keeping the puck out of their net. And, we've seen a lot of success from those kinds of teams in the NHL playoffs. Most years, defense wins out over offense. We'll see if that continues this year, but the Rangers certainly have the defense and the goaltending to make a serious run in this year's playoffs. Switching over to the other side of things, we have the Pittsburgh Penguins, who went 46-25-11 on the season, 103 points, and they finished third place in the Metro Division. They did struggle against the Rangers in the regular season, going just 1-3-0 against their division rival. However, there is no guarantee that that carries over into the playoffs. We've certainly seen it before where a team that's done very well against another team in the regular season isn't able to in the playoffs, and vice versa. Sometimes the script flips. We obviously will have to wait and see if that's the case. But Pittsburgh, pretty good offensive team, scoring 3.28 goals for per game, which was 11th best in the NHL, so just outside of the top 10 there. And very, very good defensively. And this, I think, is a little bit of an underrated stat here for the Penguins, because normally when people think of the Penguins, they think of Crosby, Malkin, Gensel, Rust, the Letang, like the scoring and them being a high-flying offensive team. This year, they were one of the best defensive teams in the league, giving up just 2.71 goals against per game, which was 5th best in the NHL. They were a top 5 defensive team this year. And then obviously Tristan Jarry had a lot to do with that, had a great season in goal. Was very, very good this year for Pittsburgh, and now he is out injured, which will certainly have an impact on this series. But Pittsburgh can keep the puck out of the net as well as score, and this is an underrated team defensively as far as goals against are concerned. Power play, not that great for the Penguins this year, which comes as a little bit of a surprise given the star players and star power that they have on their power play units. But only 20.2% on the power play, which was 19th in the NHL this year. That's something they're definitely going to want to improve upon in the playoffs. However, their penalty kill was absolutely outstanding. They were one of the best teams in the NHL in killing off penalties, 84.4% on the PK, which was 3rd best in the league. Pittsburgh doesn't take a lot of penalties either. They're one of the least penalized teams in the regular season, and when they do take a penalty, they very much more often than not kill it off. So it's going to be a very interesting special teams battle here over the course of this series between these two teams, because special teams are definitely going to get their work in, I imagine, between these two. You know, this is going to be a physical series. There's a lot of animosity between these teams. It's very much a rivalry matchup. So I expect there to be some power plays, and we'll see if Pittsburgh's power play is able to improve upon what it was able to do in the regular season. But both teams are very, very good on the penalty kill, and I think it's going to be tough. Goals are going to be tough to come by between these two. They have great goaltending, you know, when Jarry's in. Even DeSmith has played well taking over. But at the end of the day, I do think that Tristan Jarry's absence, if he's not able to go for this series, is going to have a big impact overall on the series, because it's a very different Pittsburgh team when you've got your number one guy in net, a guy that you've relied on, and has had a very, very good season overall. Jarry's had a great regular season. Not if they don't have him for all of this series or most of this series or however long it is, that's going to have an impact for sure. And then obviously at the other end of the ice, you've got Igor Shesterkin, who has just been absolutely phenomenal this year for the New York Rangers. So obviously some storylines coming in here. Big time is Pittsburgh's goaltending situation. Also the Penguins in general not playing all that great at the end of the year, although, you know, statistics have shown that that doesn't really impact how the first round goes. It's kind of random, and there's no real correlation between playing well or not playing well at the end of the season and how you do in the first round. It's random. Some teams that play poorly end up doing really well. Some teams that were playing great end up getting knocked out first round, and vice versa. So that I don't think has a huge impact. But Tristan Jarry's injury certainly will have an impact. And all in all, I think this is going to be a really fun series. Again, I am really looking forward to this series because of that animosity, that rivalry between these two teams. They played very exciting games against each other in the regular season, and I am very, very happy that they are meeting up in the playoffs. This was one of those series that I really wanted, and I'm very, very glad that we are getting. So the Rangers, the 2 seed, the Penguins, the 3 seed. This is going to be a whole lot of fun. Cannot wait for the puck to drop in this series. And I am eagerly awaiting Tuesday night when these teams kick it off. So that is my series preview for the New York Rangers versus Pittsburgh Penguins. First round matchup in the Eastern Conference. It's going to be a fun one. Thank you guys so much for watching. And with that, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our merchandise store, membership, and donation links are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys soon.